Today I'm going to be sharing with you the top things that you didn't know in Once Human. Hopefully these tips and tricks are going to bring you something new that you didn't already know, or serve as a good reminder for some of the more nifty tips and tricks, things that are less obvious here in Once Human. If you do find this video useful and informative, please feel free to drop me a like and a subscribe down below. Both of those things are massively appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. So first things first here is that deviants have levels. This is most notable on things like your resource gathering deviants, so the Digby boy. You'll see here this guy's got 3 and 3 on skill and activity rating. If we go over to this one's 2 and 2. This one here, for example, is 2 and 4. And so what this is going to mean is it says the higher the activity rating, the faster it recovers deviant power and mood while dormant. So it's going to be able to go out to work more often. And the skill rating increases how efficiently the deviation works and the better that it fights, depending on what it does. So whilst it's out, it's going to gather more and it's going to recharge quickly with higher rates, or it's going to recharge more quickly and be able to fight better when it's out. So this is really important for things like your combat ones. You can see here this is just a 1-1 K9 skull, but if we go over to something like my Xeno Purifier here, this guy's 2-3, and if we head over here you can see I do have a 4-5 activity rating here on the Mini Festa. This guy is going to be really good indeed. So it's worth noting these, and they do have different levels, as well as the fact that they have different needs, and if you fulfill these it's going to mean that it increases their recovery by a certain percent during dormancy, which is when they come back to these containment areas, and it's going to be 10% for each of these on this guy. So you want to give him music and red light and a toy. Now I haven't got the music on for copyright purposes while I'm recording, but usually I have this on, and a red light you would just need to build above their containment thing. Toys, for anyone wondering, are going to be the little statues that you can place down, like this guy right here. These models, these are going to count as toys, and they're going to satisfy any of the deviants that require this for their happiness. Next we have the Memeatic Specializations and the fact that you can re-roll these. So you can see here it costs you 1 of these cleansers to reset. Be aware you do only get 5 of these per season, and that is meaning over the whole 6-week period. So you can't do this regularly. Make sure to pick perks that you actually like when they come up, and then if you do really truly get nothing that is good for you on that roll, you can consider re-rolling. To check if you've got any of these, just head over to your inventory, head over to your materials tab here, and it's this item right here, this very pink specialization cleanser. You actually get these by going into the seasons tab onto the seasons goals, and you'll see as the first milestone for 1 star in each of the season rewards section, you get one of these, and there is of course 5 of these total. So that's where you'll be picking these up from. And whilst we're on the topic of Memeatic Specializations, these can be the best money makers in the game. If you get something like Precious Metal Refining, which allows you to make gold and silver ingots, this is going to net you 6,000 energy links per silver ingot and 12,000 energy links per gold ingot. It's going to make you super rich on the energy links, so you can buy anything you want from the shops. You can upgrade all of your Mematics with no problem, and of course you can keep calibrating your weapons without any issue there as well. You can also get something called combo chipsets. These sell for 12,000 as well, and these are going to be super good. I've got a full video which I uploaded yesterday here on the channel if you want a more in-depth guide on how you can make money, but that's a quick overview. These are going to be super useful. Additionally to this, you can get things like the solar drill on your Memeatic Specializations, and you can read the perks here. Again, I covered this in yesterday's video fully, but it's essentially going to give you 15% increased yield on ores, and it's going to give you 100% extra yield on gold, silver and stardust. So again, a huge money maker. If you don't have it, try and get someone to make you one, or buy one from a vending machine if people are selling them. They are crucially important to making a lot of money here in Once Human. You might not know that when you get to a certain threshold with some of the weapon calibrations in the game, you will unlock these hidden perks. You can see here accuracy plus 12, stability plus 6, and crit damage plus 10. Now of course I don't have the plus 10 overall calibration on this weapon because this is only a purple, but you can see if you go over something that you haven't calibrated as much, this one was plus 4. It tells you on the padlock how much calibration you need to unlock it. The first one is plus 4, the second one is plus 7, and the third one is plus 10. So that's something you're only going to be able to attain on these gold weapons here. And essentially these will give you some extra perks as well as increasing the damage through calibration, which makes it even more worthwhile and something you certainly want to do, which is why I said making sure you've got as many of these energy links as you can so you can afford to continuously calibrate, providing that you have the right materials. If we have a look at something like this sniper here, once you get this going, you get rapid shot style, which is bolt pulling speed plus 50%, reload speed plus 50% for attack minus 10, then a crit rate of 4.9%, and then an additional 8.8 at plus 10. And then here on the calibration for the soccer rifle, the gold variant of that, we're going to have accuracy and stability, crit damage and crit rate. So all of these are really, really cool, and they're going to increase your damage a lot and increase your proficiency with that weapon. Now on a similar strain to this, you can also upgrade your blueprints. This is further going to improve your weapon or your armor depending on what you upgrade. And the way this works is you will see on the right hand side of your screen there is these current blueprint fragments. This tells you how many fragments you have for each different sort of category or family of weapons in the game. And you'll be able to tell this by looking at the weapon, and in the bottom left you can see here it says Wanderer. This one is Beyonder, Wanderer, and if you go to different categories you will see different ones. So here's Stranger, Juggernaut, and so on and so forth. Once you have unlocked any of these weapons with the fuse, so you initially need to get the specific weapon fragments to unlock it. As soon as it's unlocked, you can go in, if you right click and go into details, and then go into this blueprint fragment thing here. If you have any weapons that actually suit that fragment, you'll be able to put them in and actually upgrade them. Now it says there same name fragments provide 2 times the XP, and because of the legendary tier this is 30, so each of these is going to provide 60, and we've got 10, so that would be 600 XP. You see how this works. So for example, if we wanted to upgrade this AWS here, what we could do is go ahead and pop these ones in, and you'll see these only give 60, they're giving 3 each, and we've got 20, so it's not going to be much, and it's not the same weapon, but it is a way that you can increase these weapons. The way to check what blueprint level you are currently at and what the maximum is for each of them is these little star icons in the top left corner just here. But do just make sure you've unlocked all of the ones that you possibly can with the fuse thing before you go and upgrade any of these, because you can actually use ones you haven't yet unlocked to upgrade ones that you have. So make sure you go through and check that you've unlocked them all first. Now as you can see here, if you actually have enough fragments to upgrade it, this one only requires 5 because it's exactly the same piece. What we're going to do here is go from 794 HP, 24 resistance to pollution, and 40 psi intensity. And if we hold F to enhance this, you'll see it says upgraded here, and we're now going to go to 831 on the HP, still at 24 pollution resistance, but we've got 42 PSI intensity there as well. This is really, really nice and makes the base stats of all of this stuff great. It's good for armor, and it also does the same base stat increase if you upgrade a weapon blueprint. If you go onto the events tab on PC, the keybind for this is F3, and head over to the regular event and then onto the astral jewelets. You get 3 points that you can spend, 20 of which are given to you at 6 AM every day, and you can buy things like sanity gummies, activators like I'm going to do right here. Once weekly you can get an adrenaline shot, you can get some flatbreads, and you can get some orange juice. It's nothing crazy, but it's worth making the most of because you can just top yourself up with some of these items to keep yourself going on your adventures. If you're hitting up the late game and you're heading into the stage where you're creating tungsten and you're needing acid to do so, the most consistent ways I have found of doing this, other than farming the POIs, which of course is a standard way to do this, any of these POI areas and the mobs there have a chance to drop acid, is actually going to be the workshops when you're doing those as part of your gathering anyway. But the most consistent way by a long shot is going to be the silos. And if you go to one of these silos that actually has the sort of stardust polluted enemies, the sort of zombie style stuff, they will actually have a chance to drop you acid, and of course you can rerun these as many times as you want to. So these are actually really, really good and a great source of getting a nice supply of that acid that you do need for crafting the tungsten. So if you go into a silo, check that it's the right stardust enemies, and that's going to be a great way to get hands on with acid as much as you need it to be. Now, when you're smelting in an electric furnace, you can actually do multiple things at once. So if you see here, if we stack a few sintered bricks up, you can see that 2 of those stacks are going to be smelting at once, and it doesn't cost you charcoal. It does, of course, require being attached to a power line, but this is something, as you go through your progression, if you haven't already done, you will get onto very sharpish. One thing that you can do to make this even more efficient, and it's going to either increase your XP yield if you're doing this for XP or just generally needing the materials, or of course you're doing it to craft things to sell like your bronze ingots if you haven't managed to get these silver or gold ones. then this can be a consistent way to make money. Then you definitely want to get this little flame deviant guy here. He's called the Flame Essence. And what he does is actually sit on top of the furnaces and make them go faster, so you're going to be able to smelt things a lot quicker. I managed to pick up this guy from somewhere around the furnace lair. I'm not exactly sure where, but if anybody else has managed to find him, do drop it in the comments so people can find this one easier as well. But I'm pretty sure it's a spawn in the furnace lair somewhere, so check that POI out if you haven't been there and you do want to get the Flame Essence Deviant. Now, most of you by now, if you've watched a couple of my videos, will know I've explained to you how to go into the fly mode. You go into B, and on PC, you press the at button if you're on an EU keyboard, or the tilde button if you're on a US keyboard. If anybody knows the keybinds for other countries' layouts of keyboards, do drop them in the comments below. It'd be super helpful for everybody. But essentially, you can go into build mode in your territory, but you can also do this when you're trying to relocate your base. Now, I'm in a pretty good spot, so I don't actually want to relocate my base right now, but if I was going to, what you do is go over, and again, this is going to be the PC keybinds, but it's B to open the building menu, so you get yourself into this, Z to relocate, and sometimes you'll see you can place it down, but it's going to be a bit clunky. If you actually then go into the fly mode here, you can zoom up, and you can actually see the area a little better, especially if it's blocking, something's blocking you like that, and you want to be able to see what you're getting blocked by. You can go into fly mode and have a little look. Do be aware that you might need to adjust the height again on PC with Alt and the scroll wheel if you are in the air to actually make this work, but it gives you a better view and allows you to relocate your base much easier. Now, finally here, this one might be something people know about but haven't taken advantage of yet, and that is the better foods will actually give you an effect or a buff when you use them. For example, the signature ice brew here, this one gives you freshen up for 1800 seconds, and this is used to increase your pollution resistance by 30% and sanity recovery speed when out of combat. Some other ones can give you different buffs. You can see here this one gives you blinding light, which is used to emit a blinding light that stuns nearby monsters every 3 seconds for 5 seconds and lasts 900 seconds. You've got the safety sandwich. This one used to reduce damage from other players by 20%. This is going to be super good if you're on a PvP server. Of course, you're going to need to get the materials for it, but if you are able to do so, these are going to be great. It isn't just the gold ones. Actually, even the blue ones will give you some buffs, so like the steak combo. This one gives you plus 50 max HP. Fruit teas can give you different things depending on what you've made them with here. These different flowers you can put in. They give you extra healing effects, durability, all that good stuff. And of course, the purple foods as well also give you some good buffs, such as XP Source. Use it to increase character XP gain from defeating monsters by 25%. This is really, really good. You'll need bananas, apples, and grapes in order to make this, but this is a fantastic one that you can get hands-on with. So if you can get this early doors and you want to level up faster, take advantage of it, because I haven't seen many people doing it, and a lot of people asking how you can get more XP quickly. This is going to be a fantastic way. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you have found something new out or had a reminder and it has been useful for you or something you'd forgotten, please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below. If there's anything that you think I missed that isn't obvious to players that everybody should know about Once Human, drop it in the comments down below. Let's share some knowledge between us and get better at the game together as a community. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again very shortly on a brand new upload. Take care and peace.